Good morning and good afternoon. Welcome to the Friday Flow. Like last week, we did the 12 Rivers. Last Friday, I believe we did it actually the Friday before as well. We'll kind of go with that theme for the next few weeks doing the rivers. Today, one thing I'd like to note is I want you to not focus on breathing today. Focus more on the movement and slowing the movement down. The 12 Rivers features very long out breaths. And if that's, if you know the pattern and you want to, stay in the pattern, that's wonderful. But don't put too much concern on the breathing today. Just breathe deeply and naturally through the movement. So we'll begin today with some joint rotations. So interlock the fingers and let's rotate around the wrists. We'll do the same, essentially the same warm-up as we did in the early session this morning. And we started the day with some very simple Tai Chi forms. And the 12 Rivers today with 2 substitutions. In place of 2 hands push the sky, we'll use the 8 brocade style, 2 hands lifting the sky. And then in place of 4 body movements, we'll replace that one with the similarly function, but looking much different, fending off the monkey. Let's change direction of these spirals. I see happy puppies today. I have but a kitty in the room putting her paw in the water, which is unusual. Not sure what that's all about, but alright, let's tuck the elbows in and spiral around those elbows. Make loose fists with the hands. And let's change direction. Hoping we can avoid the excessive background noise today. We've got landscapers on site, and they have several pieces of large, loud equipment out there. Off for now. All right, let's take it out to the shoulder. One hand lifting in the front, spiraling at the top, pressing down in the back. Keeping the arm as close to the body as is comfortable. Add a little extra support by pressing down in that little hollow space between the chest and the shoulder as you do this. Let's change direction when we get to the bottom. Spiral the hand, turning the palm to the back as we lift in the back, pressing down in the front. Moving that spiral from the top to the bottom. Let's take one more over the top and then move to the other side. Lifting in the front, spiraling at the top, pressing in the back. Sequence today will be on the meridian clock for my part of the world, which will begin with the crane looking behind. let's change direction here. Turning the palm to the back, lifting in the back, pressing down in the front. One more time over this side. And then let's move it down to the hips. Hands on the waist, rotating in the hips. Either direction is fine. We'll go both ways. Head stays largely static. Lower part of the upper torso moving. Unlike our final spiraling in between heaven and earth, where our head is also rotating. And let's change direction here. And then let's take it down to the knees. Feet come together, hands slide down to the knees and rotate those knees. And change direction. Relax it back to vertical. The feet come back out to a neutral position. Shift the weight to one side. Step out with the other foot. And rotate around the ankle. Get a few turns in both directions. Shift over to the other side. Finish up on this leg. And let's begin to deepen out the breath. Again, once we start the sequence, I want you to just breathe naturally. So a lot of these movements are prescribed as a two-part breath. Just inhale with a long exhale. Feel free to break that into a four-part breath. Change direction here. So we finish up on this side. And let's connect to the breath with a little spinal cord breathing. Breathing in, spread the elbows apart, squeeze the shoulder blades together. As you breathe out, hold it all back in and gently round the back. Breathing in as we rise and expand. Breathing out as we relax and release. These last few, let's add a little turn at the top. Coming back to center to breathe out. And a last one. rising back, relaxing into Wuji. We begin with the cranes. We want our crane head hands, breathing in, one in the center, and then we turn a foot out, look out over our shoulder, back through center, other side. The crane looks behind. Don't worry too much about how high the arms are coming on the turn. Focus a little more on getting the head to turn and look behind you. A normal breath pattern for this one is a breath in through the center, a breath out as we turn. Feels natural to you, right ahead. If not, just breathe naturally. Not focusing too hard on matching the breath up with the movements today. Let's take one more on this side, one more through the center, one on this side, and we finish in the center. Hands float up in front, forming loose fists. Pull it into the ribs. Arms come overhead, elbows forward, and then elbows flare out, and then press forward. Wild goose beats his wings. Normal breathing pattern, breathing in here. Long breath out. First elbows forward, elbows out, pressing forward. One more. And then fists out here, draw them back in to the armpits, punching forward, rolling the hand over, and then pressing forward. Punching wind, draw that one back in. Rotate the hand, open the palm, turn it over, press forward. Normal breath is in here. On a breath out, punch forward. Continue the hand movement as you breathe out, inhaling the fist back in. Take one more on each side. Last one. And just let the hands relax back down to Wuji. Black Tiger straightens his waist, folding forward. At the end of your range of motion, interlock your fingers and come back up to vertical, bringing the hands up to about shoulder height. Release the hands, let them pass the body, and then 2 times. Hands overhead, gentle arch if you can. Just only come as high as is comfortable. And we begin again, folding forward. Interlock the fingers. Hands separate, hands pass the body, setting up for 2 arches. This is Black Tiger, straightens its waist. Holding forward, breathing in as you come down. Breathing Breathing out as we rise. Big breath in as we set up for the arches. And a long breath out as we rise and arch the back 2 times. Let's take one more. And then relax back to Wuji. Setting up for riding the horse and shooting a bow. Feet nice and wide. And let your body sink down just a bit. And let it really sink when we pull the bow. Hands float up on one side. And they separate. One aims the bow, the other pulls the string as we dip down. Breathing in. Cross to the other side. Breathing out. Draw the bow. One more to balance it out. And release out by unfolding the string hand. And as the arms float down, toe heel back in to our neutral Wuji. Hands float back up on the sides, palms up. Let both arms spiral. Catch a ball, large ball, and turn the palms out, pulling toward the top hand. To the side, turning back through center, and finishing in the center. Hands spiral, the other hand lands on top, turn the palms out, pulling the top hand guides. If you want to add the breath, here's an inhale. Long exhale as we turn, come all the way through center, and finish in the center. In breath is on the transition. Long out breath. This is turning and gazing. One more to each side first. Setting up for the last one. Spin and recapture the ball. Flatten the palms and let them float down. Here's our first substitution. Breathing in. Lift with the palms up. Turn them over at the shoulders. Press overhead. Come up on the balls of the feet. And then as you release, lower the palms and lower the heels. Adding breath, breathing in, breathing out. Breathing in as you rise up to the balls of the feet, and breathing out as everything releases. One more time. Hands float up in front like you're holding a ball. We're going to skip over. Tiger stretches his back and go right to fending the monkey. Spin the ball, and the bottom hand is going to float away As it comes back, the other one turns over, palm passes palm, press forward. Breathing in, toss away. Hand comes back past the ear, past the palm, pressing forward, bending off the monkey. Last one. And then let both hands just float down. And toe heel out just a little bit. Not way out the horse stance, but a little wider than hips. Hands float up in front. Warm fists, draw them into the waist. Turning to one side, push out that hand. Draw a big circle behind you. And then a big circle in front of you. Draw that one back in. Other side. Big arc behind. Big arc in front. Draw the fist back in. This is dragon clears a path. Normal breath is a breath in here. Long breath out as we draw our two arcs back in front. Last one. And then toe heel out just a little farther. Relax the hands, let them slide down just above the kneecap. Breathing in, look out over one shoulder. Breathing out, come back to center. Breathe in, look out over a shoulder. Breathe out, come back to center. This is a modification of bending the body and turning the head. Take one more over each shoulder. And then relax and toe heel back in our neutral position. Final form, one arm raising. Hands float out on the sides and then spiral in to catch a ball. Both palms turn over, one goes high, one goes low. Come up onto the balls of your feet, big stretch. Adding breath, inhale on the transition. Exhale as we stretch, rising to the balls of the feet. Lower the heels as you inhale and hands change places. One last time. Recapture that ball in the middle, and while in this position, toe heel out just a little wider, let the body sink down just a bit. Now spin that ball, lower the hands just in front of the lower dantian. Close your eyes. We'll take just a few breaths in each of the three postures, three centers over the lower, middle, and upper dantian. Little abbreviated Zhan Zhuang set. This first posture, the palms are directly opposite each other, fingertips pointing forward, but the hands curve just a little bit like they're rounding a ball. On an inhale, let the hands rise and the arms round out so the fingertips are pointing toward each other. Hands about heart level as we center over the middle dantian. This is our classic standing post. Again, on an inhale, let the hands rise, coming up over the head, hovering over the crown of the head. The upper dantian, the yogis would call the crown chakra. Come out of this one on an exhale, letting the hands very slowly work their way down, taking 2 or 3 breaths as the hands come down, hands coming together over the lower dantian, stepping in to a little more neutral position, a little bit inside a hip's width. And we'll finish with just a few deep breaths. Settling the energy back in our center. One more deep breath. And as you release that breath, go ahead and release the hands to the sides. Let your gaze come back to the room. Give everything a little shake. And thank you for joining me today. Have a wonderful rest of your Friday and a great weekend. Namaste.